Welcome back, guys. So this series is gonna be the actual winter. Okay, so this is what if Deku. Um, Crap, I forgot what I was gonna call it. Um, what if Deku was a shifter? Okay, only an animal shifter, but it's only mythical animals. Okay, so like Chinese dragon or American dragon, stuff like that. Okay, so yeah. Um, yeah. Let's in the beginning. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry about that. Um. Anyways, I was. So let's say that in the beginning, as when Deku was born, Inko kind of noticed that there was this lizard that was always following him. That when he was born, when he stepped outside, that there was this lizard that just jumped in the car and came with them. So yeah, and yeah, when he was 4, she noticed that Deku pet is the dragon. She's like, or the lizard thing, right? And Deku's liking its lizard. He feeds it and everything. So yeah. Um, and when he was 4, they went to go see what his quirk was, and it said shifter. And he's like, he could just transform into animals, but he doesn't know it was mythical animals. And she's like, oh, okay. Oh, and they kept going on. So, yeah. And when Bakugo heard this, he's like, oh, he could be powerful, but 2 explosions, and he's like, okay. And Deku's like, okay. And he uses his quirk, but he notices that when he went into a lizard to look like his, he went to a dragon, a small dragon that looks like this, that Deku's holding in the image. He looked like this. Right. So yeah. And during that, sorry. Um, where was I? Yeah. So now we're caught up to the anime, right? And during that, during that, um, and Deku just kept training his quirk. And then after that, during that, let's say when it was his time to actually do it, right? When when the teacher said it's time to go, right? When it's time to decide what like what you want to be and stuff, and everyone was like hero. So yeah, and Deku could turn into a medium-sized type dragon and stuff, and everything like that. And yeah, and the next time, and Bakugo, and he says the 2 people that want to go to UA is Bakugo Katsuki. Everyone's like, okay. Then Izuku Midoriya. Everyone's like, Izuku Midoriya? We've never seen his quirk, really. Huh. And people were like saying, what is this quirk, though? No one knows what it is at all. Right? So, yeah. And, yeah. Everyone's like, what's your quirk, huh? What's your quirk? What's your quirk? What's your quirk? And he says, well, I could shift into things. And they're like, oh, can you shift into animals or can you shift into objects? He says, I could shift into animals, right? And they're like, oh, that's so cool. What type of animals? He says, well, I could turn into, you guys won't believe me, but you could turn me into a dragon. Um, and they're like, no, you can't. And they're like laughing, like, are you lying about your quirk now? Right? They're laughing at him, and then he says, look, I can show you after school. Right? And they're like, fine, whatever. The day ends, and everyone's following Deku outside. Even the teacher is, and this is what he's gonna transform into. Give me a second. It's a little bit bigger than this right here. But yeah, he transformed into this, and he can still talk in his normal form. He's like, see, told you. And they're like, what else can you transform? And he says, I could transform into quite a bit of things. They're like, show us, show us. And he transforms into this. Give me a second. He transformed into this, like a half-type snake. He said I could transform into this. He transformed into a dragon. He transformed into this. Into like a... Then he transformed into a snake. Everyone's like, wow, you're really strong. Right? He's like, haha, not really. Bakugo's probably stronger, though. And they're like, no, no way. He could only use explosions. Your dragon skin or whatever could be stronger than that. Right? And he's like, sure, whatever you guys will say. And Deku usually just has horns out and stuff. People thought, like, oh, he's just had some horn type quirk. And, hold on, give me a second. I'll show you what he looked like. He has white hair and he kind of looks like this in one of his forms I'm going to give him. But he has horns out like this usually. So, yeah. I had to put Devil Deku because that's the only thing I thought with horns. So, I'm just going to put Deku now. Yeah, I'll just put... I'll just put this image for, I guess. Why not? It doesn't really matter. But yeah. And... where was I? Yeah. And he starts heading home. And... was heading home. And the slime attack happened and Deku just transformed into some animal that could freeze. Let's say it was a Yeti. He transformed into Yeti and he blew and froze it in place. He didn't kill it. He didn't kill the person. He just froze it in place. And yeah. All Might caught up. He said, thank you. Would you like to unfreeze him? And then Deku says, sure. Transforms into a dragon and blows him a little bit. And then he started unfreezing and went unconscious. And... and he got home. His mom said hi. His mom said hi. He said hi. And he's like, I'm gonna go train my quirk and stuff. And he's like, she says, okay. And he keeps training his abilities. And he figured out that he could add combine them into his own, so he doesn't have to transform into a full-on animal. And he's like, oh, so I could just make wings and right? He's like, okay. And he just thinks about this and he's like, okay, this is pretty cool, strong and stuff. And no one was really seeing him and stuff. So yeah. And now what was I? Oh yeah, like he was just training and everything. And let's say that it was the entrance exam now. I know I'm kind of going fast, but if I'm going to make this, and let's say, no, hold on, I got this. And let's say that before the before it, he met a girl that had, hold on, give me a second, that had blue hair, and everything, and she could fly by using her life energy. I think that's what it was, or something. And he accidentally bumped into her. But after that, where was I? Crap. And they just talked, and in this universe, Nejire was not in the big three. Like, let's just say Kendo was, okay? Right. And during the and they were just talking, and when it was time, he met up with her and said, "You ready? We should start heading." And she said, "Yeah." And then yeah, they went and had fun. And they were just, hold on, I'm trying to remember. Give me a second. And they got there, and he fell, but Nejuri caught him. Uraka accidentally used her floating ability on Nejuri instead. She started flying, but Nejuri used her quirk and said, "Can you release me?" or whatever you did. And and yeah, that happened. Like, she got out of it and everything. And where was I? Crap. Right, and he's like, "Sorry about that." Right, and he says, "Sorry, Nejire," and she's like, "Oh, it's okay, Deku." And they just walked out, and they headed off. Yeah. And um and yeah. And when they got in there, um they were just sitting, and Deku had his lizard with him, because he signed that it was going to help him during his fights, because his lizard is growing, but it didn't grow that much longer. It grew a little bit longer. Alright? Yeah. And during them fighting, and during their talk, they were just quiet. So Ida incident didn't happen ever. Didn't happen. And because he was just quiet with Nejire. Nejire really wanted to pay attention, so they were quiet. And yeah, this video isn't going to be that long, just so you know. And where was I? Sorry if you heard my dog. But crap, I'm trying to remember. Okay, and let's say when they got in, Nejire was in a different area, and Deku's just getting ready. He's ready to move on and everything. Right? And yeah. Let's say during the let's say he didn't pay attention to anyone. He was just ready and started going. And 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 when you got when they said go, he transformed into a let's say I'm trying to think of a fast. He transformed into a griffin. He had the speed legs, and let's say these legs that he made was speed was lion type legs, and he ran, and everyone thought, oh, he could shift into different animal parts, right? And he just went through and got them all, but then they noticed that his hands were claws like a dragon, and then they noticed that they saw fire coming from above him. They look up and they just see his dragon, because Deku figured out it was a dragon somehow, and they figured out that it was. Then they're like, wait, I just noticed, and one of them said, wait, Mike said go already, and they all looked and they saw the timer was already going, and everyone's like, what the fuck, right? And they were all running now. They all had to go to catch up, and let's say Deku took out 50 3-pointers and 29 2-pointers and 10 1-pointers. And he said, okay, I could probably just hang out now. He transformed, he got dragon wings and went up. So yeah. And then during the and when the 0-pointer came, they noticed, but Deku thought they could just all run away, and then he heard help by 2 people, by a girl that had a round face, and a boy that had red hair and spiky. He said help because he couldn't get the girl with the round face out. And he went and he attacked. He transformed into a full-on dragon and bolted at it. He charged on it and put its claw in its wing. It has claws on it because it has like a sharp part, and just stabbed it inside of it and ripped it. And yeah, they got there. He was ended and he went home. That's where I'm gonna end it, guys. Sorry that the video is short today. Just didn't really have anything. I just had to make a video. And this is gonna be a winter type, so yeah. Peace out, guys. Have a beautiful day. Peace out. And I will make a video on Christmas. Tomorrow I will not. I will be very busy tomorrow. But have a good Christmas, you guys. Love you. Peace out.